Good to go.
Okay, welcome to the Facebook Live audience and to those here at the Business Growth Networkers at Dallas and Addison and North Dallas and Addison, and we're excited that you're here. Today our educational topic is how to turn words into sales, and our speaker today is Dominic Turner, and Dominic is going to, he's a sales guy that has migrated into digital marketing, and his specialty that he's been focused on for the last 3 or 4 years is on copywriting. Everybody know what copywriting is? Getting something, words that people are going to remember and act on. And so turning words into sales is something that we all want to do, right? We're all writing posts, we're all updating our website, blogs, whatever we're doing. And so today I think Dominic will definitely give us some real insights in how to make that happen. So as we get the tech lined out here and we're ready to go, Dominic.
All right.
Switching out computers. You gotta log in.
Oh,
Is it Dominique or Dominic?
Dominic. Dominic.
I like to say eat.
That's okay, I just want to write it
You
down.
say eat, I say that.
It's my whole life. I get Dominique. I get Dominic.
Actually, if you see how it's spelled, it works okay.
It's gotten
It does spell like Dominic.
it's gotten to the point where it doesn't bother me as much.
So I always say, call me anything you want, just don't call me late for dinner.
There you go. So, hi, Dominic Turner. That was an amazing intro. I appreciate that. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Am I situated right?
No,
Or should I be
you
on
be
this
you.
side
I'm
or
gonna
this
move
side?
this for you, so you just keep
Okay.
going.
Okay. Do you have a clicker or something? Or?
No.
Okay. All right. So copywriting. Today's keynote is the 3 keys to direct response copywriting, direct response marketing. Who in here knows what direct response marketing is? What it isn't? Raise any hands? Okay. I know you do
Me and
because
Sean.
you're a storyteller, right? Awesome. Oh,
Clicker?
yeah. Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
I should get one of
Yeah, that would be pretty good. Is it?
those. My investor's not speaking.
Would you
Who
like
else
one?
brought one? Scott brought one. See if that works. Never bought
I'll
one.
just pick it out and I'll buy it as a gift. I want one too.
It comes with a trip to Hawaii. How did that happen?
She's got the office.
It's gonna make you. That might be way too complicated.
Yeah, it may be too complicated. I think I'll keep it too because it just completely.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, keep it simple.
Keep it simple, stupid.
There you go.
Kiss.
I don't even know where the keynote went.
It's all tiny out there, isn't it?
Oh, it does.
It's
Oh.
not complicated.
Thank you. Okay, so I didn't want to just be standing like at attention in one spot because I like to move around. I kind of I talk with my hands and I kind of move around a lot. It makes me more comfortable. So excuse my nervousness. I'm usually really good. I'm kind of introverted, so I'm usually behind the computer screen a lot. But without further ado,
But Jenna made them.
but Jenna threw me out to the wolves, and this will ultimately make me a better public speaker in the long run. So, but once I get rolling, I get rolling. So, who am I? I'm not the braggadocious type, so I typically try to keep my sales pitch on myself to a bare minimum. But I'm a sales professional, digital marketer. I've authored a book, and how I got my start in digital marketing is for 7 to 8 years I sold real estate, and I was at a Robert Kiyosaki event, flip your house event, and he had made a comment. He said, and you can research this. He said, I made I made millions selling real estate, but I made a fortune selling information on how to sell real estate. And so that like kind of percolated my ears a little bit. I was actually there to learn about actually how to sell real estate, but that one little key phrase that he said, I was like, okay, let me research this. Let me go dive deeper. And so was very successful in selling real estate, and I decided to launch a course on how to sell real estate. And the name of that course is Kick-Ass Real Estate Secrets. I actually authored a book to go along with the course, and I actually sold $27,000 worth of my course within a day, within 24 hours. And since then, I was like, I'm hooked. I don't have to wait for buyers or sellers or investors to clear the close anymore. So I think I'm gonna go all in on this. So that was actually kind of like that turning point, my breakthrough. And so since then, I've launched several information products, anywhere from the dating niche to health and fitness. And recently, I'm working on a brand, a keto diet brand that we've launched a blog in December, and we're actually launching our course on April 1st in a couple weeks. So that is a beautiful picture of me, and then that's a picture of my book and my course. So what is direct response marketing? Direct response marketing is the type of marketing, unlike traditional marketing, that elicits a specific response from your reader or from the person that is actually consuming your advertising, right? Traditional marketing is, you guys know what traditional marketing is. It's the billboards, the radio ads, and it's a very indirect approach, right? So it's, someone gave me a good example of a radio ad that we hear all the time on the radio, possibly, or a TV ad. Let's see.
Hammer guy.
You get in a car wreck? Yeah.
Long car.
This
Long
radio
car.
ad is particularly annoying. It's a company that sells air conditioning systems.
Okay.
The one about they'll sell you it for $0, but then they'll charge you $1,000
Yeah,
for the thermostat.
Yeah. I mean, they have good little tunes and good good little messages. I know I recently got in a car wreck, and as a matter of fact, the Hammer is who initially came to mind. Like, I'm like, oh dang. So it works to a certain extent when you need it to work. But what I'm talking about here is, especially as a digital marketer, we are looking for, we have a budget that we're looking for an immediate return on investment. And so I'm not looking necessarily to, for branding necessarily. We're looking to find our target audience, find our market, and get them to take action right then and there, right? And so here's a clear definition. I kind of gave my idea of what the definition is, but this is directly from Google if you guys want to write that down, and you guys will get a copy of this presentation as well. Thank you. So why direct response marketing? Well, I kind of said it, but direct response marketing elicits a specific response. It's super lucrative, and most of your competitors don't invest time or money into direct response campaigns. A lot of big companies, medium or big size companies, are older companies. They don't necessarily believe in direct response. A lot of people think it doesn't work. I'm sure when you guys go home, you check your mailbox, you get junk mail from Geico and from all these other companies, right? You get mail from realtors and things of that nature. But the simple fact that it does work because it's trying to get the person that's receiving the advertising to take a specific response. It's like having a super salesman on staff. That's how I say it. It's a direct form of advertising where you are deploying your marketing messages out to your target audience. So as opposed to doing the Hammer insurance personal injury radio ad, 24/7 on the radio, you're going specifically for people who are either you're solving a problem or you're going after people who are looking for a solution. And the internet has opened the floodgates to direct response marketers. In the old days, direct response was just junk mail, right? It's those mailers that you get in your mailbox. But with evolution of the internet, email, Facebook, Google has kind of opened up the doors to direct response marketers. And now you can reach your audience literally instantly. You know, if you have the budget, you can go out and literally reach your target audience, as opposed to, you know, folding and licking envelopes and putting on stamps and hoping and wishing upon a star that someone calls you. And it's better ROI overall. So AIDA, who in here knows that acronym in sales? Okay, so I'll break it down. So AIDA, there's a good movie. It's by the Glenn Ross rules. What's the name?
ABC is selling.
It's
Glengarry
Glenn
Ross.
Ross. It's Glengarry Glenn Ross. That's the name of
an
the
old
movie.
movie about the guys with selling real estate.
They were selling real estate,
Right.
right? So it's one of my like
And
all-time.
the special leads were in the safe for the guy.
Yeah,
who did
it's
that.
coffees for closers, right?
Got it.
So I studied that movie like from front to back like many times throughout my sales career, and AIDA breaks down into attention, interest, decision, and action, and that's specifically what we're looking for with direct response marketing. For marketing in general, whenever you're sending out an advertisement, whenever you're doing any type of advertising campaign, your goal, your objective is to grab their attention. Are they interested? And if they are, I want you to make a decision, and from that decision, I need you to take action on that decision, right? And so those are the key components. Now, the 3 keys to direct response copywriting, I break it down. Key number 1, headlines to get their attention. Okay, so when people are reading an ad copy or sales letter, the headline is the first thing that they see. That's the first thing that's going to elicit any type of response, right? Or to even, you know, and especially in 2019 where, you know, you're scrolling through Facebook, you're scrolling through your social media, that we're bombarded with messages. Like, I mean, probably hundreds of thousands per day, right? And so that's not even including their drive home when we see all the billboards. So how do you grab your audience's attention? Well, here's like some old and tried and true ad copy that worked in the past and still works to this day. And this is David Ogilvy. He's a master direct response marketer, and this is kind of, I've tailored a lot of my copywriting today from what I've learned from David Ogilvy.
Better known as Don Draper.
There you go. This is one of my favorite ones. At 60 miles an hour, the loudest noise in the New Rolls Royce comes from the electric clock. It's a good play on words. It's just, oh wow, you know, I mean, obviously they get you with the image, and then the headline is what really draws your eyes to actually enticing yourself to even want to read more in this sales letter. And a lot of David Ogilvy's advertising is used and copied throughout the marketing industry. So, headlines to get their attention. It's all about the hook, right? And the hook is the one thing that reels them in, right? And so when you're out fishing, you know, at the end of the fishing rod, you have whatever bait that you're using. I don't go fishing, but worms or whatever. You know, so you get, that's your hook is what gets their attention. And so just kind of going up, like going back, you know, this, you know, how to create financial advertising that sells, right? It's that hook. Suddenly Dove makes soap old-fashioned. It's just really like a play on words, and so that's what you're doing. You're looking to hook them in and get them in. And the hook is to get your prospects adrenaline pumping. And the goal is to get your ad read by your audience, The hook is what's going to get their attention in the first place. And here are some examples. Here are some new school examples right here. How to sell 100 books in a day. Read this free report. That's a kind of like a headline, a sub-headline. Really, in my opinion, this is the headline, this is the sub-headline, but oh, why is it not doing that?
What's it supposed to do?
It's supposed to get these other examples. There you go. There you go. So, here's another. Get the ultimate marketing shortcut just for $1. And he's actually taken that from Dan Kennedy, actually.
Yeah, but the dollar part was an accident
It was, really.
because the merchant account required at least $1. He wanted to make it free, but they wouldn't let him.
Really interesting. So, but
That's actually illegal to have a photo dollar.
really interesting. I did not know that. It's good to know. But it actually, I know I bought from this ad, so
I did too.
because it just it catches your attention. It's a hook. It's you
You want questions later? Or-
yeah, we can ask questions.
So why would anybody believe that? I mean, it sounds interesting,
Mm-hmm.
but we've seen thousands of those kinds of things out there. I tend to be a skeptic.
Mhm.
So how do you get the skeptics?
Well,
Maybe you're gonna
Part of
cover it.
that is that picture in the bottom
yeah,
left-hand
I was
corner.
gonna say, yeah,
It has authority on its own.
right.
Well, Ryan Dice,
Right.
he has authority.
And then it's, like you said, it is just a hook.
Got it.
Right.
So it's kind of like saying, if this was something you were looking for anyway, its only job is to make you read the next line.
Okay, got it.
Just a hook.
Okay, got it, thank you.
And so, exactly, and really, Ryan's face. I mean, he's a local. I mean, he's a celebrity in our world. So, now you put my picture on there. No one really knows who I am. They probably like, I don't know about that, right?
Right.
So you'll be naturally a skeptic, but he can get away with it.
Yep.
But in a nutshell, but you get the understanding that you want to be able to, really kind of get people to take action. You want to get people to get people's attention as much as you can. Even if it's outrageous, even if your headline is outrageous. I mean, that goes on a lot. We call it clickbait in the internet marketing world, but
Email is dead.
it works. It definitely works. Key number 2, direct response copywriting focuses on the customer. Branding typically focuses on the company, and direct marketing focuses on the customer. Direct marketing is more effective than typical forms of indirect marketing or branding information. Goes back to the old radio ad, the billboard versus direct response marketing. Direct marketing obsesses over the customer. And what I mean by that is when you're writing your copy, you actually tailor it towards that particular customer avatar, right? And so when you're actually putting together your sales presentation or your advertising, you want to really drill down of who your customer is to their name, to their demographic, their age bracket. Are they married? Are they single? Do they have kids? You really want to really hone in on who your ideal customer is to the point where you know their name. Like, you have a particular idea of who that person is. So when you're actually writing your copy, you're writing it, to tailor towards that particular that person, right? And so it makes your copy come to life a lot more. And you always want to write in a way that you're writing to one specific person, not necessarily to the masses. Key number 3, having a clear call to action. And there's no such thing as effective marketing without a call to action. The call to action is absolutely essential to a successful marketing and successful copy. In direct response marketing, you produce advertising with one goal: persuade someone to take a specific action that leads to a sale. And direct response marketing is measurable. It's accountable. So it's not, let's just throw a bunch on the wall and see what sticks approach. It's much more directed and targeted. And that's what I love about, direct response marketing. Back in, earlier in my career, it's, we know we want to target homeowners who are over the age of 65, who are tax exempt, right? That's a very specific niche of homeowner that we want to target, because we know they are in the mind that they want to liquidate the most, in the type of real estate that I was doing. So your goal is sales, and your writing focuses on sales. It's to get them to take action, and that's the key to direct response marketing. It's just to get people to take action. You don't want to send out, the thing with direct marketing, it could be a total bomb if, you don't have a clear call to action. If you can write the best copy in the world, but if you don't tell people what to do and guide them to take an action, to whether that may be to opt into your email newsletter, whether that may be to, pull out your credit card, put in your information, or it could be a call to action to give your office a call. Either way, you have to direct your reader. And so here are some examples. So this is another Ryan Dice's digital marketer example, where there's a clear call to action of downloading the ultimate everything. This ties in aesthetically, probably one of the better examples, because it gives you your hook up top, it gives you your headline to entice you to even read this part. Me specifically, I probably would look at that and just go directly here, and this is good ad copy to actually copy. But as you can see here, you have a clear call to action. You could have this without a, you can write your copy and you don't have a clear call to action, and it wouldn't work. Another good example, Shopify. It tells you right here, start your 14-day free trial today, and it gives you a clear call to action. And this one's actually not as clear because it doesn't tell you put in your email address, but this entices you to take action and put your email address in, because if you're in e-commerce, you want to have a 14-day free trial. And here's another kind of similar. BigCommerce is one of Shopify's main competitors. So
Never heard of them.
never heard of them? Yeah, they're up there with the Shopifys of the world. So
I guess I only buy through Amazon.
yeah.
Oh, no, you don't go to big commerce to buy as a consumer. The digital marketer creates a store by their own name for you to buy from,
Okay.
using them.
Got it.
So that concludes my short presentation. And any questions?
You finished early.
I did. I was trying not to do it. I had to condense it because I didn't want to take too long. But
So, questions, we have time, I'll ask. So how do you create, if you're new, okay, you're relatively new, the concept, I can see with the Ryan Dice, all right, because I hang around with Jenna. If I hadn't hung around with Jenna, I wouldn't know who Ryan Dice is.
Right.
She's so convinced us that much of the stuff that he does is really worth what you pay for it, which is usually pretty reasonable. But if you're new, don't you need to start out with branding first to get people to know who you are?
no.
And Jenna's shaking her head no.
No, I mean, to answer that is because, before you start to build a brand, you want to cultivate an army, I guess, of customers or clients.
Right.
Before you because branding is much more of a long-term approach, right? Versus with direct response marketing, if you're a brand new company, let's even test my offer. Let's test our product. Let's see if we actually have something viable that the marketplace or that my audience actually want to consume. And then from there, once you have a proven product, a proven offer, then we can kind of, evolve into much more of the longer approach type of marketing campaigns, which would be brand awareness and things of that nature.
Okay.
I'm a writer. I spend a fair amount of time writing what are called query letters to editors and publishers. Basically, you're saying, here's the story idea. Let me know if you're interested. What would be a good call to action to put into that letter?
You know,
Write copy on the fly, by the way.
I know, right? On the fly. So, I'm trying to think. I have to think about that.
Well, and I can add to that, is a letter the right vehicle for a call to action?
It could be in the form of a letter, or it could be in the form of an actual landing page on your website.
Because when I think of a letter, I think U.S. mail, you know, comes in an envelope. You
Those
open
work
it up.
great. You know why? Because nobody uses it anymore.
Okay.
I mean, you still get some spam, but if you hand write the front of the envelope,
Right.
and you actually do a personalized letter, so if you take his skills with taking the headline that grabs attention
Right.
and copy that's very direct with what their problem is, what they're facing, pretty much all my biggest clients have come that way.
Okay.
Old school handwritten letters where they've ticked me off with bad marketing, and I became me and wrote a very snappy letter. It works. Snappy.
It does. But to answer your question, I need to, if you could write that, I need to give that some thought. Because that's interesting. I don't have the answer right now.
Can you do quick response stuff via LinkedIn?
Yeah, we actually, we do it now.
Okay.
But it's much more of a conversational type of campaign.
Okay.
Because you don't want to come off like a robot. You want to come off as like a,
Because you get thrown off.
well, that number one, and number two, it's you want to create have a conversation. You want it to be a conversational piece more than anything.
Talking about branding, where you're actually marketing a third party service. For example, Legal Shield, our services, the law firms that work with our company.
Okay.
As an independent associate, I'm, let's say, 4 parties removed from the actual call for action, or the action that takes place to get the members started. So, what are some things that could be done there?
So if you're promoting a legal shield,
Either Legal Shield or ID Shield.
right. So I would tailor it to around that core offer of what they actually offer. So is it more like litigation, or is it more so? Educate me on Legal Shield. What do they actually?
Well, for example, you said that you just had a car accident. Our service, if you had that accident, immediately you would want to call an attorney.
Correct.
To find out how to handle the situation. That's one of the elements of the legal plan.
Correct.
Is immediately contacting the attorney.
Right.
And again, we don't offer discounts or anything like that, so that's absolutely.
So what I would do in that case, because personal injury it's usually an event, it's a life event, right? So for instance, I got in my car accident. The first thing that I did was went to my phone, it's over there. First thing I did is went to Google, personal injury attorney, Dallas, Texas. And then I see all these populate, right? So I would write an ad with a headline and a hook that would entice me to click on the ad. So it would be something, just got in a car wreck, ? That's a hook. And I use a lot of questions in a lot of my headlines, because that's what, a question, psychologically as human beings, we want to answer the question, right? So, hey, just got in a car wreck, automatically I want to engage with that ad, and it's like, call us now. And it could be something as simple as that. It doesn't have to get intricate. No obligation, and you can kind of really, tailor that ad. And it'll be a simple text ad that I would put in Google for a personal injury client.
And you're selling the sizzle, not the steak. Yours would be more of, because I've been in the MLM world for 20 years, is selling it to the rest of the family. Who's ever reading that knows that somebody in their family is gonna get in an accident, right? Parents with teenage drivers. You know, if your kids are going out on the road, they need support on their phone, right? Just little things like that, right? Your wife's gets a flat tire in the middle of the night. Maybe AAA isn't the only answer. So little things like that that say, what's the rest of this story? Because the first thing when anybody thinks legal, they think, well, divorce, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And it's not all of the simple things that they forget about, right? The fact that can you take a picture of your speeding ticket and it goes away?
Yep.
Right? That's what I'm saying. I know because I have that.
Yeah.
That's why I have it for my family. And that I wouldn't have it. I have it for my family.
So part of it is the motivation on the service.
That what he's talking about, the feeling
Yeah.
that gets people to say, nobody ever wants anything for themselves.
Yeah.
Correct.
People will refer you to people even though they can't even stand up straight. They go, you know what, this would be good for him. I saw him try to get out of his chair. And you're like, nobody ever does it for themselves. It's when they do it for the other people. And that's what this marketing is how can you be the safest one on your block?
There you go. Good point.
It's how do you give them a reason to brag about you? I just told
Then
you,
you can sell them something else.
I have Legal Shield, $39 a month or whatever it is, not for me, for my family. And I get to brag on that. I get a Six Flag discount every now and then.
Priorities.
And to even piggyback off of that, you know, you can use testimonials within your direct response copy.
All kinds of testimonials are available.
Exactly. So another to your point is with the Ryan Dice example, it's like, well, you know, he has authority. So if I don't have authority, for instance, my keto diet secrets course that we're coming out with, I'm off and on 50-50 with keto diet, but I have someone that's 100% all in. And so using her success story as my own, she's the expert. I'm on the back end, but also
So we don't put your picture on the ad.
No, I'm not gonna put my picture on the ad. I'm gonna use her picture, and then several others within our private Facebook group who's had success in our beta group. And so using their success story, so you can tailor it like that to where, okay, I, Dominic Turner, I don't have authority in this particular field or this niche, but I'll use other people's testimonials
But your job
within
is
my
to
ad copy.
sell it. Okay?
Correct. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so you don't need the.
So I will say
Find
some
people who do.
exactly. I'll say find out how Jenna dropped 17 pounds in 17 days, right? So I would take myself out of that and I would insert someone else. And then obviously imagery has to go play a part in that as well. So.
Good. So one before David gets up, because we still have a few minutes, and I'm really getting into this. So would you recommend, I'll call it pairing, this kind of advertising with branding, so they go hand in hand?
Absolutely. And and it's not to say that one of my clients, they're a branding agency, and branding. You need branding as well. Like they go hand in hand, but you also need sales.
Yeah.
So
You need sales to afford the branding ads.
Exactly. So you use direct response. If you're the brand new kid on the block, brand new company, and especially if you're in a competitive market, which I don't think there's no business that's not competitive. So you want to actually build up that pipeline and build up, those testimonials, build up, that part, and then you implement branding. I think branding is second phase of marketing. I don't think you launch those at the same time, unless you're like, a big, huge conglomerate, and you can do that.
So you can take your successes from your direct response,
Correct,
and then use those to help you in your branding.
Absolutely. Because then that helps you build authority
Got it.
in your marketplace,
Got it.
especially if you're not the face of it, which I don't like to be the face of anything. So,
Thank you.
so
Any other questions? All right, well, let's give Dominic
good.
a hand.
Learned
Appreciate
something
it.
today.
Good job.
thank you.
Awesome. All right, so obviously if you want to learn a little bit more